Hey YouTubers, and welcome to my channel where I am the niche. Why did I say that? Because a lot of times we are afraid of starting our channel, whether it be this platform or other platforms, because we feel we do not have everything in order. And a lot of times we hear, oh, pick a niche, pick a niche. And sometimes it's difficult if you're like me, because I am one who have many skills. Okay. If you're new here, my name is Jacqueline Lenore Smith. It's my full name. I do go by Jackie. And I am a mother of two. I am a grandmother. I've been married for 30 plus years. God bless me and my husband. And I travel often to Jamaica. So when I talk about I am the niche, this is what I mean, because you will see every piece of me. One of my main foundations is my faith. I am a believer in the Most High. Some call him Jesus, some call him Yeshua. We're not going to debate that, okay? But we do know that the Most High sent his son for us, and that's what I believe. So a lot of my posting videos will be inspired, will be surrounded by my foundation. And I think that's important when you're moving forward, trying to find yourself or your place here on these platforms, especially YouTube, right? With that said, I will be talking about today Jamaica. If you follow me, you will see that I travel to Jamaica often. My dad is originally born and raised in Jamaica, and he came to the States when I was 17, excuse me, when he was 17, 18. Met my mom in around 19 or 20 years old. They got together, got married, and they had this beautiful child here, and two of my brothers. So that's where that story starts off. Later on in the years, I met my husband, who was raised in Brooklyn. And later on that day, when we started talking, I found out he too was born in Jamaica. So there is my foundation about why you will see videos on Jamaica. I want to share my experience because I've been seeing a lot of topics on people traveling expat, right? That's the correct name that people are using now, right? And I just want to give my feedback, my suggestions, my advice. And this is all related to the journal that I have in the process that will be released shortly. I've been traveling to Jamaica since 2012. While I was in corporate America, I was only traveling during my PTO time, right? My husband has a home here, so I always had a place to come to when I traveled. We fast forward to 2018 when I decided enough was enough. I did not want to deal with corporate America anymore and decided that I will take a sabbatical here in Jamaica. I am in Mo Bay. That's where our home is at, and that's where I took my first sabbatical. My husband was like, and my husband's 10 years older than me. That's just a factor there. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. I do know that while I was in my career, I work in the healthcare industry, right? So I work with doctors, well, I'm gonna just say health care providers, hospitals, specialties, and I basically get the doctors set up, right, with their credentialing. So I'm a credentialing account manager. I handle enrollment. I've done everything but dental, right? So that's a little history that I'll share in another video. But my point is, I had the flexibility to decide what I wanted to do. I no longer wanted to work for corporate. I'm a type 2 diabetic, and my body was just feel like I was burning out. At that time, I did not know I was going through depression because I did not believe in depression. You know, that's another conversation that we need to talk about. Raised as a Christian woman, you know, faith based, we give everything to God, and although we give everything to God, there are moments we have to go get some help, right? Okay, so I did not know I was going through those moments of June 2018. My husband's like, come to Jamaica, right? Let's rest here. Take a sabbatical. Take 2 or 3 months. And that's what I did. And that became long term while I would travel back and forth to the States because I still made my money in the States. And we'll talk about that. My point is, I started to realize that there was more life outside of the States. And this is coming from a U.S. citizen, right? But hear me out. You have to make the decisions that work for you. Make the best decisions that work for you, your situation. At that time in 2018, it was my decision to take a break, to leave corporate America, and that's what I did. But before I did that, I had to make sure I had some income coming in, right? And so I slowly began to find my own clientele. Although I was doing this while I was working corporate, was finding my clientele on my own, I had to go full force. When I left corporate, I left with one client, and I probably was bringing in anywhere between 500 to 1500 per month with this client of mine. Okay. And that's how I began to think outside the box, right? I can live in the state, I can travel back and forth to the island and still make my money in the States. Now, this is the disclaimer, this doesn't work for every client that I work for. I've also done what is called employment agency work. And with those jobs, you have to be in the state. So that's a disclaimer, okay? And I had to work and adjust my schedule to that. Why was it easy for me to do? Right? Is because I have an empty nester. Yes, I have two children, but they're grown and they are out the house. So I have the liberty of traveling back and forth. I have the liberty of staying here in Jamaica 2 times out of the year and then going back or vice versa, whatever had to do, right? During those beginning moments. But the first 3 months, I literally did nothing but work that one client. Okay. And so you have to have a game plan before you decide you want to pick up and move out of the country. So important. That would be my first advice. Have a game plan, right? Your game plan may not be working remote. Your game plan may be you're retired and you have this income coming in, or you may be on disability, so you have a steady income coming in, right? But I will tell you, you cannot come to Jamaica and just think you're going to find a job, right? You cannot come to Jamaica, even if you have the papers, right, to work, and think you're going to just find a job. I will be sharing videos of examples of what I mean that is not easy just to pick up a job. The number one thing is you cannot come to the island of Jamaica and just assume you can work here. That is illegal. You have to have a work permit, and we'll go into that. My book talks about that. Um, but again, you still have to have a game plan. So the three things I will suggest that you can get into, right, to start your life here, if that's what you're looking to do, short term or long term, is have some type of online work. Okay, number one. If not, have a business adventure, right? Number three, investments. Those are the three things that can get you set up comfortably here. The last two, again, will come with permits if you're looking to start a business here, if you're looking, right, to invest here. But those are the ways to get in. And a lot of people, we live in a society, we live in a season now where you can do a lot of online marketing, right? And if you're in that field, then I suggest that you work that to the best of your ability, and you can live a decent um, sabbatical here, whether again short term or long term. But never assume that life will be the same from Jamaica, or I should say from United States to here. Get away from comparing. A lot of times we are stuck to comparing our life hacks from the United States to Jamaica. And although I've done that, it's important